Hi everyone, I hope all of you are doing really well. I'm going to be moving back to my apartment, and in my previous video that I just recorded, I did mention that I'm going to share a really terrifying experience that happened last year with me over there. Now, this is my parents' home, and if you're wondering who this angel is and what this statue signifies, my mom actually bought the statue when we were in Brussels, Belgium. And I think it brings me a lot of peace. Hence, I am sharing it in this video, and I think we could all do with some positive energy and blessings. So I'm beginning this video right now, but I am going to add on the actual experience. Now, the reason why I'm not saying it right away, I will, is because I wanted to include the footage. I am planning on going to the exact location where this happened with me. It's basically a trail for walking. Okay, it's around the neighborhood, it's around the apartment area. There are different lanes, and this is kind of the last lane. Okay, I am experimenting with the light. I don't know why it's not focusing. Hold on. Okay, and I have a habit of walking a lot when I'm on phone, and even in general, I love to walk. So at 12, and the nature of my work was word vomit. The nature of my work was such that it kept me up late at night. So I would take a break and go out at 12 midnight just to take a quick stroll around the neighborhood and just come back and feel refreshed. And I probably shouldn't have done that because it was too late, and something really spooky did happen when I went for a walk. Again, what a coincidence, because the first terrifying experience that happened with me had to do with me going on a walk initially, and I felt like something followed me back. Now, the apartment where I'm staying at right now, it is very, very old. And again, it's not this place. This is my parents' house, like I said. That apartment is pretty old and it's full of old people. Not that I have anything against old people, but most of them there are kind of morbid. I don't know. The overall energy is just low. Nobody smiles at each other, and people are just to themselves and a bit creepy. I don't know, I just get creepy vibes there. Now, the apartment is nice. I mean, there are lots of cats there, so I love that aspect. And I'm just trying to give you a general overview of where I'm living at and what exactly happened. So, as I said, I went out at 12 midnight, and while I was walking around the place, there was nobody there except for the guards. And I actually heard someone calling out to me near the tree. I'll show you the actual video of the place because we have been staying there for 3 years now. This is going to be the third year. And after this happened last year, I stopped walking in that lane completely. So there are overgrown trees like hovering all over you when you go for a walk there. And I felt that I heard someone distinctly calling out to me like this. I know it's going to sound crazy if you're not from this side of the world, but this is how it sounded like. Hey, hey. Get it? Someone was calling me like this. And at first I thought someone's just joking around. Maybe they're fooling around in their bedroom and the noise is carrying outside or something. But I looked around and nobody was there, and I didn't think anything of it. Now, all this time that this transpired, I was on call with my friend, okay? She was on call with me. So it's not that I was the only one who heard it. And I didn't happen to stop when I was on call, and I was like, hold on a second, to my friend, okay? I hear something. And I turn around and that noise kind of stopped. And then, like, if I was standing here, the noise was coming from there, and kind of, it felt like it hovered over here. And then I could feel the same sound again, except it was a bit louder. So I darted right out of there and I began walking back because I found it weird. And that's also not what creeped me out. What creeped me out was that my friend, when she heard this noise and she knew that I was like looking behind to check what it was, she immediately told me, just get the F back to your home right now. And there's no need to investigate and look around. So I was like, okay, fine, that is kind of creepy. So I started walking faster. Now, this is one lane out of many. So I was just trying to get out of there because it was super dark as well, except for like one street lamp at the end. And what was weird is that I felt something hovering over my head. Like, if there's a piece of cloth that touches your hair, how it feels. I felt like there was a woman. I don't know. I felt a female presence over my head. And also, I could hear the clinging of keys coming from behind me, like something metallic clinging behind me. And there was nothing there. And I had chills all over my body, like I had goosebumps, that little vibration you feel on top of your head. I had that. And what's weird is that when I reached the light, I didn't look back, okay? I did look back once, but there was nothing there. There were just a bunch of metal keys clinging noises coming. So now once when I reached the end of the street, that's where the lamp was, it completely stopped. Like done and dusted. There was no music, no sound. Sorry, not music. There was no sound, and that sensation over my head just stopped. That was really weird, and I have taken pictures of the place. Of course, it's in my backup. So when I go back, you can take this as like, it's going to be a continuation of this video. So when I go back, I'm going to take you there and show you the location and how creepy it looks, and that's where it happened. And I distinctively heard that female noise, that weird noise that I just mimicked. I know it kind of sounds ridiculous, but it's not ridiculous if it comes at 12:26 a.m. at midnight. And there was not a single soul outside. And the park there is not really that greatly maintained. It just overgrows at times, and there are tons of trees. It's super dark. And it's the first time it happened. I mean, we've been living there for 2 years. Nothing like this ever happened. And after that incident, I came back home. I took a saltwater bath and prayed, and I haven't gone back there since. That place is spooky, and there's a lot more to this. This is one thing that happened. Now, before we moved in here, my then boyfriend, who's my husband right now, he picked this place for us because it was nearby to this house. Now, if you didn't know, I was my mother's caregiver, and she passed away in COVID in 2021. So she was, reliant on me for everything. She was dependent on me. That's why my husband found a place for us nearby so I could come and check on her. And she was not comfortable with nurses, so I was more than happy to take care of her. Bless her dear soul. So this house, this apartment there that we were staying at, we came to know the first day I moved in there. Okay, let me go sit down and talk about this. Okay, so I'm sorry if this is a mess right now. I'm just kind of in between packing because I'm going to go back to my apartment, the same apartment I'm talking about right now. So the first day that we moved into this apartment, I felt a death energy in our bedroom. So it was just me and my husband there. I felt a death energy, like a sinking sensation when I went to the bedroom. Now the apartment is really nice from inside, okay? We have made it beautiful. But I just couldn't help but feeling that there's an overwhelming sense of death coming from the bedroom. Now our landlord lives in another city, another state altogether, and he never really stays here. And after 13 years, they're renting this place out. Now, I did a bit of research, and I came to know that the landlord's father passed away in that room. So what I was feeling was not really out of the blue. And again, something creepy began happening there when we were staying there. As in, I would work late nights in the living room, and I would feel like something is there with me. Like, not all the time, but when I would close my laptop and come to bed, I would always feel like there's a female presence behind me. Now, this is not the female presence that I spoke about initially, in the park area, that lane, what followed me. This is not that. This is completely different. I'm talking about our own apartment, like inside the apartment. I felt like there was a lady following me. Like, if I'm walking towards the bedroom, she's also walking with me. And she's not trying to harm me or anything. I just felt like she's lost. Or maybe that's just where she stays. And after a while, I actually ended up, after a few weeks there, we always experienced something like unexplained noises. And when I'd be in the kitchen, or my husband would be in the kitchen, we would feel as if something is running towards us behind and then just disappears. Like, we would literally look back thinking that it's each other, one of us, and there would be nobody there. And we could also hear whisperings in the hallway. The hallway leading towards the bedroom, that's where we heard lots of noises. And sometimes it is understandable that noise does carry. However, this was not that, because we would never be able to debunk it, And there was also a point where my husband, when I would come to stay at my parents' house or just go out, only my husband could hear wailing noises coming from the back of the headboard of our bedroom. And it used to creep him out, but what can you do, right? Even in daylight, this would happen. Now, I never heard that, but that's what my husband could hear. And after a few weeks, we decided to do some. Okay, one thing I had to tell you, our landlords, they're very religious. Okay, they're extremely religious and kind of orthodox. And we figured that, let's just do a house cleansing. Now, I didn't go and reach out to a priest or anything because this is just post COVID and the COVID protocols were still maintained. Nobody was going over to anybody's house freely anymore. So I decided to just start listening to prayers on YouTube, just having them play throughout the day whenever I'd be busy doing my chores. And I also started to pray around the house, light incense and all that good stuff. And one fine day, this is like the first few months of us staying in this apartment. One fine day, I heard, no, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I actually had a dream early morning. Now, in my culture, they say, my mom always used to tell me, and I definitely do believe it. If you see a dream early morning, they say it kind of happens for real. In my experience, this has been the case quite a few times. But anyway, I had a dream where I saw the landlord's father, whom I had never met or seen in my life. He was standing in our balcony. Now, this is early morning in my dream. He was standing in the balcony and smiling at me, and he was telepathically communicating to me that I don't have to be scared anymore, that this is his house. He's been here for 38 years and he is in and around this place, but I don't have to be afraid anymore. And I also saw a lady beside him just walk past by, and her eyes, she was kind of beautiful. She had a bob cut. She was wearing red sweater and blue jeans, and she just walked past by, and her eyes were, you know how blind people have eyes? They have like a kind of a white sheet on their eyeballs. I don't know how to say it, but she seemed a bit blind, but she was just walking around lost. I also saw that in my dream. But when I woke up from that dream, we really didn't feel scared anymore. And all these noises that used to come in our apartment, they stopped momentarily. And both of us, me and my husband, we stopped feeling scared. And I do feel that this actually was his father, the landlord's father, blessing us and giving us permission to take care of the house. Now, I feel he was happy with the way we have kept the house. I think some spirits or people, they just don't pass on, or they linger around where they made the house to make sure that it's okay and the tenants are not messing it up. So that's a little bit of a backdrop of the house. I'm sharing with you a little bit about the place and what has been going on. Now, if you didn't know already, I have shared in my previous videos that I have had premonitions since I was a little girl, and I am not going to call myself clairvoyant, but I don't know how else to put this, okay? I know a lot of people have premonitions, and many of my dreams, especially on death, have come true. Not just death, but a variety of things. Maybe I'll make a video on that later. But right now, I'm just waiting for leaving back to our apartment soon, and I am going to show you guys the exact location where this happened, where I felt this entity was hovering over my head until I got out of that street. Now, like I said, the same apartment, it is very, very old and it's very, very creepy, but it is what it is. We can't just move right now, so we're making the best of our situation. So yeah, I'm going to come back and show you guys the place. So this is where it happened. You can see this big tree. This is where I heard the noise of someone calling out to me, and I looked around, nobody was there. Now remember, this was well past midnight when it happened, as I mentioned in the video. And I've taken this video at 4 a.m. in the morning. Even then, it is so dark. Now, the lights are on, but when it happened, all the lights were off, and there was only one dim light on at the end of the street. Now, I do not come here anymore for a walk. It creeps me the F out, and this is a better view. Can you see how creepy that is? This is where I heard something, and throughout this lane, I heard clinging and clanging behind me, something metallic clinging, and there was nobody there. And I felt that a female presence hovering over my head. Now, I do not wish to linger around here for long, so even in the morning, I kept it short. I just shared the footage just to show you guys what I was talking about and where it transpired. This whole apartment building is super duper old, but this actually did happen last year, and after that, I just avoid going at night, especially past midnight here. I only come in the morning for my workout. So this is it. this is where it happened, and I will never ever walk in that lane again.